I want to give you an idea, guys, of how I want you to start approaching these things. Because if I look at these things, these polynomials that we want to factor, you could have two people that are at the exact same skill level, and just because they chose different P over Qs, it might take one person 3 or 4 minutes to solve the problem. It might take the other person 12, 15 minutes to solve the problem, just because of where they started in their P over Q list. Does that make sense? And if we put that on a test, I think that's not fair to that person that just haphazardly chose maybe the wrong starting point, the wrong P of Qs to start with. And there's really no great way of deciding where to start. So I'm going to try to give you a helpful tool here. The rule of sign says the possible positive zeros will equate to the number of sign changes in P of X. So if I look at P of X here, there's one sign change. Go from a positive 3 to a negative 17, negative 17 to a positive 34, positive 34 to a negative 28, and a negative 28 to a positive 8, right? So there's 4 sign changes there, 4 variations in signs with the rule kind of uses. So we have equivalent to that many possible positive zeros, or that number reduced by an even whole number. So basically it says subtract 2 from that. And I get 2, right? But it also says subtract another even whole number, so I can subtract 4 from 4, right? And I said 0. Essentially what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to take this number here, and I'll subtract 2 from it until I get down to 0, or I get down to, if it was odd, I get down to negative 1, right? And then I don't count negative 1. That's not a possible quantity. Then we want the possible negative zeros. Okay, the possible negative zeros. That's when we look at P of negative X. Now, my hopes are you guys use a little bit of technology to help you out here. Now, your CIA 3s, 84s won't do this, but you can use GeoGebra. I don't have a problem with that. If I go P of negative X, I've already typed in the function P of X that we're dealing with. If I plug in P of negative X, it does that, right? And that's what you would do by hand. You would go through, everywhere you see an X, you would put in a negative X. Now I'm going to evaluate that. Well, you could do that. It's not going to take all that long for you to fix those negative X to the fourth, negative X cubes, and all that kind of stuff in your sign. If I just hit simplify F of X, it does that for me. It does that algebra. If I can do that, because I think you guys can do that algebra anyway, so why not just use technology to do it? Does that make sense? Okay. How many sign changes do we have there? 0. None. Okay. So how does that help me? Now, this doesn't happen on every one of these. Okay. But I just found out that I have 0 possible negative zeros. So when I come up with my list of P over Qs, do I have to look at plus and minus? No, I just look at the positive ones, right? So it cuts my work in half, knowing that information. Like I said, it won't happen every time. But it does become useful. Again, if I'm going through this, maybe I do have like 1 or 3 possible negative zeros or something like that. In conjunction with my rule of signs, if I get 3 positive zeros for my rule of signs, I know that I can't stop at just 3, right? My possible zeros tell me there's 1 more out there. I could have 4. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So knowing that information doesn't narrow in real fast on what my possible zeros are or what my intercepts are, but it helps, okay? It might dwindle my list a little bit, okay? Now, we want our P over Qs, okay? So our P over Qs, they're the same as what they were in the quiz, so I'm just going to write these real quick. They're plus or minus, and I'm only going to look at the plus ones because we knew the minus ones are going to kind of go out the window here. We have 8 over 1, 8 over 3, 4 over 1, 4 over 3, 2 over 1, 2 over 3, and then 1 over 1 and 1 over 3, right? Okay. Now, this is what I'm saying is that student A might start at 8 over 1. Student B might start at 1/3. Student C might start at 4/3. And they're all going to have the same skill level, and they're going to finish at different times. Does that make sense? Okay. So I think that's kind of maybe unfair. in regards to taking like a time test. So this is what I want you guys to end up doing. I still need to see the math. I still need to have you tell me you know what's going on. I want you to grab some graphing tool. And when I grab my graphing tool, I'm going to plug in that function. And I'm going to go look at my graph, and I'm going to choose a starting point based off this graph. Does that make sense? What's a good starting point? Where do you think this thing goes through? 2, okay? If I zoomed in, it also goes through 1. So I'm going to try. I know 2 is a 0 from the graph. I want you to validate that through your algebra. So do synthetic division. Bring my 3 down, multiply, gives me 6. Gives me negative 11, negative 22, gives me 12, 24, gives me negative 8, sorry, negative 4. Multiply that, gives me negative 8. And now I've got a 0, right? So I want to see that work. Okay, that's what I'm going to grade you on. Now, 2 was tangent to the x-axis there, wasn't it, in my picture? So what's that tell me? Yeah, it's going to work again. So let's bring that 3 down. Multiply gives me 6. Add gives me negative 5. Multiply gives me negative 10. 2 gives me a positive 4. Gives me 0, right? Okay. Now, you could, because this was x to the 4th, this would be x to the 3rd, this would be x squared, right? You could take that x squared quadratic, you could factor it. But looking at my picture, I knew there was another 0. We knew 1 was going to work. So here's what I would do. I would take the 3, I'm running out of room here, negative 5, 2. And let's do synthetic division with 1. Bring that 3 down. Negative 2. Multiply that, gives me negative 2, gives me another 0, right? So this would be 3x minus 2. That's a linear function itself, right? Or a linear factor. So stop there. Don't go any further. I now know p of x is x minus 2. It happened twice. It's x plus 1. That happened 1 time. And now my final quotient through synthetic division was 3x minus 2. And now I've factored that polynomial. Okay? But that's so much quicker using a little bit of technology, right? All right, but I don't want you to purely use technology and get the answers that way. I want to see you know the work here, okay? What's leading to that technology and allow that technology to occur. Keep working on that 3.4 assignment and have a great weekend. Thank you.